Hi everyone, today we have a new video review, and as you can see, this time we are going to talk about fresh release from Miniart. It's so-called advanced kit, which comes in 1/48 scale and copies PEMO's P-47D, and this time we get the 30RA version. And as advanced kit, it will get a bit more parts as well as a bit more P parts too. And of course we have a commercial sample here, so it means you will get exactly the same stuff as what you'll see in this video review, and you can get it already in Modelimex. That's the final shape of this kit. So first of all, the box art is quite colorful here, and this marking option obviously is included into this kit as well. And here is the comparison with my hand. The kit number is 48029, and here on the side you can see some safety devices and address of the manufacturer, while on the opposite side you'll find three marking options which are included here, as well as this small reminder that decals are printed in cartograph, so you shouldn't be worried about printing quality actually, because it's quite good out of the box, and these decals are easy to apply as well. So that's what we have inside. And as you can see, all sprues are packed into one plastic bag, and then we have a lot of space inside, so I really doubt that the parts will be damaged once they arrive to you. And the only thing which I need to do here is to cut through this plastic bag, because it's a sealed plastic bag, which is another typical feature for Miniart, and this means that you have to use scissors. In the meantime, I can also remind you that we reviewed the previous versions of Thunderbolt as well, from Miniart obviously, and we even compared it with Tamiya kit, so in case you are interested in this, you can find all on our YouTube channel as well. So, now I'm going to open another plastic bag, because we have clear parts packed into a separate plastic bag. Obviously it's a good thing, because these parts will not get scratched, but it's another plastic bag to cut through. Okay, so just give me a moment. So what do we have here? Let's zoom in, place the sticker. These are the Canopy parts. So the Canopy parts in recent P-47 versions from Miniart improved. As you remember, initial release was somewhat on the thick side. Here you can see that these parts look quite nice. And the only thing which you will need is the masks, because masks are not supplied in the Miniart kits, and this kit is not an exclusion from this rule, so you have to find them in some aftermarket brands. Next we continue with this envelope with Miniart logo. So here we have the P fret. It's unpainted P fret, but it is quite useful, and the only thing which I'm wondering is why there is only one P fret, because as far as I remember it was several of them. Maybe I'm confusing something, but as you can see there are a lot of P parts, and even some of them are designed for use with the bombs. So be sure to apply them all, because it's a really useful thing to have. Next we continue with another plastic sprue. So here we start with the fuselage part, and as you can see it is molded together with the tail fin, but the cowling parts are molded separately. We have nice external features, recessed panel lines and rivets here, and inside you will find the guiding elements, and that's pretty much all. Because the cockpit should be assembled separately, so that's why there is nothing much pre-molded in terms of the cockpit details. Next we continue with another half of the fuselage, pretty much the same design, and if I flip it over here you can see that again we have the same thing inside. From what I heard from you and also on some forums, the overall quality, the fitment of this plastic is really nice. And next we continue with this gray plastic sprue, which is dedicated to the wing parts. So here we have the wing panels. These are the top panels, and as you can see we have the cutouts in order to expose the ammo base, and here we have the inserts for the ammo base. And just to give you an idea on their detailing, here you can check them closer, and also the external features on these wings. And well, this is one of the, I would say, main differences of this advanced kit, because you get a lot of, I would say, even more sophisticated features molded out of plastic. And here, by the way, you can see that some of the features for the main wheel wells and for the engine cowling, they're pre-molded, and they look really nice. In 1/48 scale, this is a really cool thing to get. and I think some modders will be happy to expose it somehow on their model. Even though this is not such a, I would say, popular thing on 148 scale aircraft, biggest share of us is still lazy to work on the exposing the interior structure, but still it's good to see it included here. And next we continue with the sprue, which is dedicated to the wing mechanization. We also have some cockpit parts. Pilot seat is molded together with the seat belts, but we also get the seat belts as PE parts, so I guess you'll have to send them off, the plastic ones. And here you can check everything from the opposite side. So the tail wing is actually molded as a single piece part, which is really cool because you won't have any gaps and seams in this area, but well, the main wing should be still glued out of two halves. Next we continue with the landing gear wheels here, and also some parts for the machine guns and for the landing gear wheel wells as well. So everything looks fine. Of course, for the landing gear wheels, or at least for the main wheels, I would recommend to get some resin aftermarket because it will look even better and it will make the appearance of your aircraft more interesting, but of course it will also involve a bit more investment from your side. Next we continue with the engine parts. So here, as you can see, these cylinder blocks are molded separately, then you have to join them together, but overall you get a quite nice sophisticated engine out of the box. So I would say this is something what can rival with some 3D printed or maybe resin aftermarket, so definitely something to keep in the model. And the same can be said about the cockpit. So if I zoom in here, you can see that a lot of stuff is actually pre-molded here. And as you remember, we also have some PE parts included, so it's just a matter of installing all of them one by one. Next, we continue with the propeller parts. This one should be assembled out of 3 parts, and as you can see, propeller hub is molded separately here. But the blades are quite thin, so I would say they are more or less up to scale. And one more sprue is dedicated to the, I guess these are the fuselage panels, but we will see in the assembly manual, or if you know it already, feel free to write in the comment section. And next we have this pair of the plastic sprues, so I will have to zoom out a bit. And here we have the external fuel tanks. We also get the landing gear wheels with the weighted effect. We also have the bombs here, so a lot of stuff. And obviously you will not be able to use all of them at once, so some of them will stay in the spare parts box and they might be used in your future builds. But overall quality is really nice, and it's cool that Miniart decided not to save money and actually include all of these add-ons in the standard package. And next, the final sprue. So here we have the wing panels. We also have the cowling parts, remaining ones, the engine firewall, landing gear legs here. And again, landing gear legs are supplied in 2 versions, the loaded and unloaded. So that's also a nice attention to the details, and it will help you to replicate a bit more precise copy of this famous aircraft. Again, if I flip it over here, so as you can see, we have the nice features in this wheel wells area and also the wingtips serving as the guiding elements. Next, we continue with the assembly manual. So this one is packed into a separate plastic bag, so I just need to cut through it and then we will start talking about what is actually supplied here. I'm trying to pick it with the scissors and it's a bit tricky. Of course, the parts count is not specified on the assembly manual, but from what you saw in the video, it's quite huge and it will require some time to assemble this model, especially if you would like to get a nice result. But about the decals, so here we have the stencils, and as you can see, they are nicely printed. As you remember, they are coming from cartograph, and we have the segmentation, so you can cut the necessary area out and then use it on your aircraft. But that's not all, because we also have the main symbols and they are printed on the separate decal sheet, and this one is a bit bigger, but still really nice printing quality. I can bring it closer. We also have some cockpit decals here, and some of the elements can be actually replicated with the masking, but it will be already a question to your let's say skills and also to your eagerness to work on such tiny things which are not that noticeable, I would say, on the final model. Next, we continue with the assembly manual. So this one is printed in form of large brochure. We have the short list of the features. As I said, the parts count is not mentioned there. 2 marking options on the first pages. One was on the box art, as you remember. Next is the parts map. So parts map does not show which parts are unused. Here we continue with the cockpit. So you have to assemble the cockpit out of several parts. As you can see, the P parts are used for the seat belts. And this is so-called advanced assembly. As you can see, 2 options are given. Next, we continue with the fuselage assembly. We assemble also the tail, landing gear, wheel, and the leg. And here we have several pages dedicated only to the engine. As you can see, we have the advanced assembly of the engine, so there are a bit more parts involved, but I can see that still no P parts are installed here. So this is actually the basic assembly of the engine, but obviously it's better to go for the advanced one. Then we continue with more parts for the advanced assembly in terms of the air radiator. And here you can see the comparison of the difference between these 2 options. So obviously, if you are getting the advanced kit, it makes sense to assemble the advanced version of this build-up. Next, we continue with the rear landing gear, and you can even assemble the closed version, which is rather surprising because not that many brands nowadays give you such an option, but here you get it out of the box. Next, again, we have some advanced and basic assembly options for the ammo bay, as you remember, and then we continue with the open hatches on the wings. Then we have the main landing gear doors. We can assemble them in the closed position as well. And here we have also the armament. So we have various drop tanks. We have also bombs, and I can see the smoke grenades. And all of this can be installed on the aircraft. Obviously, you have to check the loadout scheme so that you can replicate the proper loading. And here we also have the wiring for the engine. So yes, you will have to do some wiring with your own metal wire. But I think it's worth it because, as you can see, the final result looks rather nice, especially if you plan to open the engine on your aircraft. And here we have the 3rd marking option. Then we have the marking guide for the armament, and the final page is dedicated to the 2 previous versions which we reviewed in the separate videos, and as I said, you can find them on YouTube channel. As for today's kit, it should be already available and you can get it in my Dailymax webshop. Of course, I'll be happy to hear your opinion, so write it here in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video review as usual, so stay tuned and bye.